Hey everyone, it's SNR here. I hope you guys enjoyed the last episode, and today we have even more topics to discuss for you. Now, the thing about today is that we're going to be using our third discussion slot, which we usually use to discuss another movie, to talk about a musical artist Steven and I both love and know. His name is Home. So let's get the show on the road.
All right, Roy. So, yeah, like you said, instead of three movies, we're just going to do two today. And, well, just like Roy said, we're going to talk about an artist called Home. Home's all capital letters, but we'll get into that later on. So, Roy, last night, you and I, we watched, well, it was your first time seeing this movie. We watched the movie called Goodfellas.
Yep.
And I've seen it numerous times in the past. First time I ever saw it was with my family a few years ago, and ever since then I just have seen it on TV or wherever multiple times, and I've just grown to love that movie. So after your first time seeing it, well, you and I never really talked about it since then. What did you think of it? What did you think of the whole movie after your very first time last night?
Yeah, I mean, you had recommended it to me a few times before, and I definitely wanted to watch it. And now that I watched it, I certainly enjoyed it a lot. I mean, I've seen some other movies that are like mafia movies, let's say,
Mm-hmm.
and they have some similarities to this one. Like, I'd say they show just like the character development, how they start like fairly innocent, and then as they start seeing all the stuff that happens, they change quite drastically into another person who they're basically molded by how just by the I guess the gangster life and how everyone around them starts acting. So that's one similarity that I found from other mafia movies that I've seen. But this one, the particular thing that I really liked was the way it was narrated. It was really from each character's point of view kind of thing, and even they themselves narrated it, and then it went onto the scene that was happening, which they talked about when they were actually like narrating it and like talking about it in the background, and it like froze the scene and then started it again. So I really like the way they did that personally.
Yeah, you
And
throughout the movie they did Henry, he narrated, the main character Henry, he narrated, and then Karen narrated a little bit too. So I mean, I that's one of the things you liked, just the narration.
yeah, for sure. I loved, yeah, I really did like the way it was narrated. But not only that, but just the character development we see is very interesting
Especially
because,
in Henry.
especially in Henry for sure, because yeah, we can see him start like as a pretty young lad. Uh, he didn't know what he was getting into for sure, and then near the end of the movie, you'll see him as a totally different person.
Yeah, he starts doing small jobs for the mafia. He starts with just parking cars, selling cigarettes and such. And then their jobs for him, they become more and more gruesome each time, uh,
Yep.
involving in robberies, threatening people, um, even helping to kill people. And then by the end, you just see that Henry, he's not too affiliated with the mafia family much anymore, and he's completely turned to drugs. And
Hmm.
as both his lifestyle and his primary source of income. and just his whole addiction just changes him completely as a person, or and
Yeah.
compared to how he first started. It seems that he doesn't respect the the mob family as much as he used to, rather than like compared to when he was a kid just starting. It seems like he doesn't care anymore, and all he wants is just money and to be on top in life. So,
Yep.
I mean, there's that.
Pretty much. Yeah. And I found it pretty interesting to see how he how these things start becoming so normal for him. Like it's just an everyday thing, like being just like running away from the cops, or like killing people, hiding their bodies, or just like selling all kinds of drugs and
It was
whatnot.
just no big deal to him.
Yeah, it's just like, yep, we're just doing this again. Like we're going to jail, yeah,
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 and
but
even
like,
going to jail wasn't that big of a deal for
yeah,
him, at least.
it was very interesting to see these things. And I mean, the movie is based uh,
True story.
on true story, so it makes it even better to think like, damn, this kind of thing actually happens. Like it's not just a movie.
Yeah, it was based on a true story. Let me look this up right now. I believe the real person's name this movie's based on. His name really is Henry Hill. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, Henry Hill Jr. He was born in 1943 and actually died fairly recently at the age of 69 in 2012. It's based on his life. Um, well, the movie was, I mean, his story, Henry Hill's story, was written in a book, and from that book they made the movie Goodfellas. But yeah, um, what Henry what happened with him was he got involved in the in organized crime essentially, and the movie just depicts so well what uh, organized crime is really like. It shows a lot of detailed stuff, and like you were saying, like a lot of killing and hiding bodies. Were you expecting that when you first saw it, or did you think it would be that in depth?
Um, I mean, kind of. I thought it would just be. I thought the violent parts would just be more like shootings and whatnot, but they actually felt more personal to the people that died. So I guess it made it a bit more intense in that sense. But I mean, it's not that I didn't expect it, because I mean, it is this kind of movie. So I mean, I know it's possible that was going to happen and everything,
Mm.
but I liked it. I thought it was good that they did it that way. And another thing, like, that we were talking about, like the fact that it's a true story, I thought it was pretty cool how they in the end credits they added like, this person is doing this now, and this person died, or this person is in jail now, and whatnot. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know, when was the movie released?
I think 1990. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, 1990. So, I mean, at this point, obviously, it's not like their lives have already changed. And as you said, Henry died.
yeah, and
But
so do a lot of the other characters seen in the movie. There's a few
I knew that.
characters in the movie who are still alive, but overall, most of them are dead, and the ones that are alive, I think some of them are still in jail. So,
Yeah, I bet. And I mean, it's kind of funny how, even though in the movie they're all like gangsters, or like part of the mafia,
hmm
you'll definitely be like cheering for some way more than others, because like Tommy, for example, we were all just like, we were
You guys
hoping he would
hated
die.
him.
Like, yeah, we did not like him at all. We personally it was just like get him to jail or just kill him because this guy's on a rampage.
He was a
So
jerk to basically
yeah, he was
everyone in the movie, but uh,
exactly.
yeah, you guys the whole time, you guys just every turn in the movie, you and the other people watching with us, you guys just thought every turn was gonna be him dying, and you were
Yeah,
anticipating it so much, and you just wanted him to die so badly.
yeah,
But I mean,
yeah. I thought that was pretty funny.
yeah,
And like other characters, personally, I liked, even though obviously they did some pretty horrible stuff, but you'd still be like, hey, you go, man.
yeah, yeah. It's just yeah, it's hard to know who to root for in
What
that, but I
Just
mean, you want to root for Henry, but
yeah, pretty
it's
much.
hard too
That's
with everything he
what the movie's
does.
about.
I
Yeah,
mean, it's
for
about
sure.
him. He's the protagonist in a sense, but I mean, there's just a lot of other people to root for too. But
Yeah, totally.
yeah, well, you're definitely gonna need to watch it again. I mean, it's after the first time, it's sort of hard to get to know everyone's names and like what's going on,
Hmm.
and it's
Yeah.
it's definitely more enjoyable after the second time, maybe even the third time. So you just want to watch it again sometime in the future, and you'll know what's going on,
I
and
will.
then you can pay attention more to details and stuff. And
Yeah, and anyone listening, I'd totally recommend this movie. I mean, it definitely has a lot of violent scenes and
lots of swearing.
yeah, rated R for a reason, right? So
Hmm.
if you're
Yeah,
into that kind of thing, I recommend it for sure.
yeah, it's definitely for a more mature audience, and you should just be aware of that it's well, yeah, you should be aware that it's violent and graphic, and there's a lot of cursing. It's not like too explicit. Like it doesn't show too much killing, but it's still pretty bad. But you'll just have to see
Yeah.
for yourself. But anyways, now it's time for the next movie on our list before we talk about Home and introduce his work. It's a
Yep.
movie that came out, I think it was 2 years ago.
2 years
Yeah,
ago already.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
Jurassic World, which
Mm.
served as it was it was like a reboot slash sequel to Jurassic Park, kind of. I I liked it. I saw it a little bit after it first came out. It was how I saw it. It was actually pretty nice. It was my last day of school for my junior year of high school, and I really just wanted to see that movie. So on my last day of school, I didn't have anything going on, so I left school, got in the car with my brother, and we just went right to the movie theater as soon as school was over. And that was a pretty good way to kick off the summer. But
Sweet.
yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. I saw it that day. It was June 25th, probably. I can't remember completely, but um, yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was really put together. It exceeded my expectations. I thought it was going to be pretty bad, honestly, at first, but once I
Hmm.
saw it, I thought it was really good. What did you think of it?
Yeah, I I totally liked it as well. Yeah, I think I also watched it once or twice in theaters. Maybe not like as soon as it came out, but yeah, I want to see it, and I liked it. And I mean, it was definitely quite a bit of a blast from the past, let's say, because I mean, Jurassic Park came out so much longer ago, so it was a bit nostalgic in that way.
Yeah, especially when they stumble upon the old Jurassic Park, like the
Yeah.
center
Oh yeah.
for it.
Yeah. Yeah. and but it wasn't it wasn't too much of the same stuff. Like they did have like a lot of new stuff.
Hmm.
I'm I'm glad they did keep, maybe not keep, but like kept the same music, or at least like the same track. Maybe it's obviously not the
Not the
exact same
exact same,
one,
yeah.
but yeah, it still has the same tune that we like.
Yeah, it was
That gets stuck in my head all the time.
yeah, and it's not the same plot either. It's I mean, well, it's not
Exactly.
it's not the
It's
it's the same concept, but it's not the exact same thing.
and I
Um,
mean like all these Jurassic Park or Jurassic World movies are gonna have that similar plot because that's just what they're about, right? But
mhm.
it's obviously they changed it up a bit with this one, and I like how they did it.
Yeah,
Uh,
they didn't do it so like the park went down immediately. Basically, it just they got there. Claire, well, not the Claire, the younger two boys. I can't remember their names, but
the kids, yeah,
yeah, the two boys, and they got there, and they're greeted by their Aunt Claire, and things are just going well, and it shows that just the amusement park, what was constructed off of the idea of Jurassic Park. It's very advanced. It's obviously a lot more put together and thought out than the initial Jurassic Park.
yeah,
And the kids, they get to see a lot of it, and so do we as an audience. We get to see what the exhibits are like and all of the technology that's implemented into the whole
yes.
amusement park.
Personally, I loved it when they were in those like bubble vehicles.
Oh, the
Um,
spheres.
yeah, those spheres, and they just got to see like the whole scenery, and like honestly, it made me a little jealous. Like, damn, I want to be in those bubble vehicles
Yeah,
that
they call
just,
them the hamster balls.
yeah, the hamster balls that just go around seeing actual dinosaurs. Like, that's like a dream come true for a little kid, but
Dream come true for anyone,
but
honestly.
yeah, exactly. Until they got until the, what was the name of the big big dinosaur?
I don't know the name. I know it was a hybrid of two. It was a hybrid.
Yeah, it's some massive hybrid like with T-Rex and some other one, I guess. It just destroys everything. And at first, it's like all safe, obviously. And I mean, you can kind of see it coming when they just show him, and then they're like feeding him some like deer or some,
And
obviously
there's
just,
cattle or sheep. I can't remember.
yeah,
Some
exactly.
sort of livestock.
And exactly. And this animal just devours it like it's a snack or whatever. So
Yeah, you definitely knew from then and when Owen
yeah,
had to
this
investigate
one's
like what
not
was going
fun.
on. Yeah,
Yeah,
you knew there was gonna be a problem with that creature, and Owen was the protagonist of this all. He wasn't the main character at first, but like,
yeah.
but I mean,
Chris Pratt
yeah, Chris Pratt, he did a really good job as Owen, and
with this iconic scene with the velociraptors that's became kind of a meme when
oh
he's just
yeah,
like
yeah,
holding them.
it's
Yeah,
keeping them at bay because he's
exactly.
a Velociraptor trainer. Yeah, yeah, he was,
Hmm.
yeah, he was really cool in that movie. Just
For sure.
everything that he did, and I personally I thought it was really good. And there's a sequel coming too,
Oh, is
Jurassic,
there?
yeah, Jurassic World 2. It's I don't know the exact date it's coming out. Let me check. It says, oh yeah, they do have an exact date. It's June 22nd, 2018.
So in a couple
So
of years. One
just
year.
less than a year, yeah.
That's not, yeah. Wow. For some reason I was thinking it's 2016, but we're in 2017.
It's called
Wow.
Jurassic World: The Fallen or Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom.
Fallen Kingdom sounds interesting.
Let me see if there's
I
anything
mean,
on a plot. No, no, there's not yet. Okay.
no. What do you
No.
think it could be? From the
Um,
name, I guess. You can do a little bit of speculation.
it's hard to tell, but based on the cast so far, it says that I already knew this, but Jeff Goldblum will take his role again as Malcolm,
Mm-hmm.
and he was in the first one and the second one. Um, yeah, he's gonna be in that one again. Um,
So just to remember, what ended up happening in Jurassic World in the end? Did the park shut down or did it recover?
uh, I'm sure the park will recover at some point, but well, actually, and it's hard to tell. They evacuated the island, remember, after the that a
Oh,
hybrid
oh yeah,
creature escaped, and
yeah.
then it was just not Chris, Owen, Claire, and the two younger kids,
So
and
did they end up having to kill the hybrid? I can't remember.
they did with the help of the T-Rex from the first Jurassic Park movie.
Oh,
Remember?
right. Yeah, yeah,
And those
yeah.
two fought it out, and then the Owen's Velociraptors helped, and they
Yes.
took it down. And then how it died was pretty awesome with that giant sea, giant like I don't want to say sea monster. It was just the giant sea creature. It was huge, and it was in a colossal tank of water. Remember? And it just
Oh yeah, yeah,
jumps out and eats it. And that was it.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. That was pretty funny.
That was great. But
Yeah,
yeah, I love that movie, and I'm looking forward to I'm looking forward to the second one, the
yeah,
Fallen
for
Kingdom.
sure.
I'm looking forward to that. But
Yeah, definitely.
yeah,
I'm here.
now we're gonna have to talk about Home. And
Oh,
Home, it's not just HOME. It's just non-capitalized or lowercase. It's capital H, capital O, capital M, capital E, and we're using this slot to discuss him and his work because we both feel that he's worthy of recognition. Though we don't have much recognition to give right now, I figure he's definitely worth mentioning. So, Homie's pretty underrated, wouldn't you say, Roy? He's
I
pretty
would say so.
underrated
Yeah.
right now. His videos, they're not even his videos, but um, who uploads the videos for him of his music. I mean, they're in the 100,000s, and a few of them have reached a million, but um, they're on YouTube, and he's a SoundCloud too, I think.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, basically his music, it's I don't even know how you it's synthwave. Yeah, synthwave, right? I'm trying to remember.
I mean,
It's
I really don't know how to describe the genre of the music, but I would just say it's some pretty chill, relaxing music that you can listen to anytime.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, like Home it's just hard to explain. He's just so underrated, and there's so little like about him, just
yeah, you were saying
freely
like
available.
he has a decent amount of views on YouTube, but however, you never like sorry, you never hear anyone say like, "Oh yeah, Home, he's like a really great artist," and he is. Like
Yeah,
he's not someone you hear about. You hear people talk about like many other artists, and he's really worth mentioning because I do enjoy his music a lot. You introduced me to it actually, and yeah, we just started listening to it and really enjoyed it.
yeah. The genre of music that he's in, it's not extremely popular. It's labeled as synthwave, 80s retro electro, and future synth.
Hmm.
But I mean, that whole genre of music, it's it's synthwave. It's like what you think of when you think of just the 80s, just with synthesizers and everything like that, and the music. And what he does is he just uses these synthesizers. I'm not sure quite how he does it. I've asked him before on when I emailed him, and that's also another thing I want to compliment him on is that he replies to emails um, pretty quickly. And the fact that he does it all is pretty admirable. He's
Yeah.
I mean he's fairly popular, and the fact that he just replies just like that, I think that's pretty cool. I messaged him a few weeks ago, and he replied literally the day of.
Hmm.
And his real name. It's Randy. I don't know how you pronounce it. I don't know if it's Joff or Goff or Jofi or Gofi. It's Goffe. How would you how would you pronounce that?
I'd say
Goffe.
J off. I'm not
Joff.
sure.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, sorry for
We might have
screwing
to
his
ask
last
him.
name
Yeah.
up, but but yeah, yeah, he basically makes these songs using synthesizers, and there's there's a pretty good amount of them on YouTube. I want to say like maybe like 2 dozen, probably more. Um, and I've listened to a lot of his music for the past few months now, and um, it just appealed to me. It's kind of reminds me of whenever I listen to those songs, it reminds me of Tron. Doesn't it remind you of that, right? Like
It does,
just
yeah. Because yeah, we were actually watching Tron the other day, and certainly it has the same kind of feel to it.
yeah.
And it's certainly music you can just jam out to. You can just relax. It's nothing heavy or anything,
Hmm.
but I'm sure you guys that are listening out there, you guys just look up home. What's one of the good songs that we
The
always
I think one of his most popular. It's called Scanlines or
mm,
Resonance, but
resonance? I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, Resonance is really good. We were listening to a bunch. Just some of my favorites. I like Scanlines, Resonance, Still Light,
Yeah,
and
everyone go check
Still
them out. Like
Life.
home all caps, resonance. Listen to that. Listen to other songs by home. I'm sure
Just
you'll
see it.
like.
Yeah, just see how you like them. Definitely. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and I also like Flood too, and well, I don't know, just really like when you first listened to Home, like that day I just started playing his music and you liked it, like what appealed to you about it? Like what did it make you feel really? Just listening
I
to
don't
it.
know. It just has a nice tune to it. It's hard to describe exactly how it is because like I don't think any of these songs actually have any lyrics, do they? Like they're
No.
just synthesizer kind of like instrumental, let's say. Uh, but yeah, I mean, it's it's really I don't know. It's not like most other music that I listen to personally because I'm usually just listening to classic rock mostly or soundtracks from either video games or movies or stuff like that.
Mm.
But yeah, this is different because it's as I was saying, stuff you can just listen to anytime. You can relax. It's nothing that will like be extremely heavy or like you're not gonna be like yeah like screaming off the top of your lungs like uh yeah it's just really soothing I'd say.
Yeah, and
So
his songs, it's not like they're exclusively for let's say working out or studying. Like it can be used like his songs they can be used for anything. It's not like each song varies. It has a feeling where you could sleep to it, you could study to it, you could exercise to it. It doesn't matter. Like the
yeah, for
feeling
sure.
that you get from each song, it's universal, and each song isn't exclusively for something. It's just it can be used for anything. And one thing that I personally think that Holmes should do. I think that he should definitely, maybe like we had just definitely just get into the video game industry, like as a
Oh yeah,
soundtrack composer.
totally.
Like I'm sure there are a
That'd be awesome.
ton of independent studios in need of that sound he has. Like, and I think he could just make a killing off that, just getting into the video game industry and just making music
For
for
sure.
for games, like especially science fiction ones, like space or just futuristic ones
Yeah,
or
those
just
would fit
tech
in pretty
ones.
well. I agree. So yeah, home, if you're listening, that's some piece of advice right there from Steven. And a big shout out to you and big thank you for your work. It's awesome stuff.
Yeah, it's yeah, definitely. We'll definitely continue to listen to it after we're done recording this. We'll probably will. I
Yeah,
know I will before I go to sleep, and even as I sleep, I'll still listen to it. So
absolutely.
yeah, definitely, guys, go check him out. I'll put a link to one of his songs in the description, and from there you can navigate his other songs via the suggestions and
Yep.
or the channel that hosts the songs. It's Luigi Donatello, and I'll put that in the description too. So now on to our slot where we're discussing a TV show instead of a website or application today. We're going to discuss Stranger Things, which
Stranger
was
Things.
a huge hit
Massive hit, yeah.
last year. I remember everyone was talking about it, and everyone was talking about it. I couldn't go anywhere without someone suggesting,
Yeah.
"Hey, watch Stranger Things." And I feel like we're late talking about this, but it's just
Yep.
it has to be addressed. Everyone was talking about it last
Yeah, and
last October and November.
I think it deserved so much talk. I when all that talk was going on, I didn't watch it because honestly, like from the genre of like I didn't really look much into it, but I thought it was just like horror kind of genre. And it's
Mm-hmm.
not that I don't like horror movies, but I kind of expected it to be kind of like supernatural kind of thing where they're just like, oh, here we have this very spooky thing. I mean, I thought it was going to be kind of like that or like documentary style. They're just showing things that are supposed to be scary or that kind of thing. But no, it was actually a good story about a few kids, and it wasn't even that much of a horror per se. Like I went into it kind of expecting like things to be specifically made to be scary, but that wasn't really the case. It was a very good plot actually, and more than scary, I'd say it was suspenseful. Like just you're like waiting to see, and it wasn't. I don't know. Would you call it horror? I'd say it's more just
I mean,
suspense.
there's definitely some horror elements in it.
That's true.
It's I would consider it a a lot of it's drama too in a sense.
Yep.
It's not really oriented around the horror aspects of the show. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes it can be a little creepy slash scary.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I think it's more creepy than scary though. Like it's like, man, it just gives you the chills, but not in a way that's like, oh, I'm gonna pee my pants right now.
Yeah, it's not like something like we're just on like you're watching and there's gonna be a jump scare and then you're done. Like
Exactly.
it's something you're gonna
It's not.
be like,
They're not forcing the scary part. They're just putting it very well and into it, and that's what makes it so good, I guess, because it's added into the drama.
yeah, and I feel like that's
Uh,
like the best type of horror, honestly, like just being scary. Like you don't want like
mhm.
you don't want to always rely on a jump scare, because a jump scare, that's gonna make you scared for the moment and maybe for the next like minute. Being creepy, like Stranger Things does,
Yeah.
it puts it in your mind, and you think about it, and you think about it,
Hmm.
and before you know it, you're
Exactly.
sleeping with one eye open. And that's what it does really well, and it's just creepy. And that one part where the Demogorgon was crawling out of
The
the
wall.
wall.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
probably
Joyce's wall. It was just that was what creeped me out a lot. And when Joyce is going through her house, remember the lights were flickering and you could hear stuff from
yeah.
inside of Will's room.
Oh man, yeah.
And then the wall just started. Oh, that was just that. And like at the time, like when you're watching, you're like, whoa.
Hmm.
But then like you go in your room, lights are off. It's dark. It's quiet. You're like, oh my god, and that's all you can think about. And that's
Yeah,
what it does really well, in my opinion.
and it's definitely for this similar reason. It's definitely like a binge-worthy show because you'll be wanting to know what's going to happen next with the characters because you'll be thinking like, damn, what really happened to this guy, or like, are these guys coming back, or like, I don't want to spoil too much for those that haven't seen it, but yeah, you'll be wondering if certain characters will be returning to the main world, let's say, because basically how it works is like there's kind of like another dimension where the Demigorgon takes the, I guess, his
Takes
victims or
yeah,
his prey,
mm-hmm.
which happen to be in these kids.
Yeah, and he takes Will.
Hmm. Will, who's the son of Joyce and Jonathan's brother, and a lot of, I guess, most of the show is just them trying to find him and trying to get him back, and in the process of it, they meet this girl whose name is 11, and she has a very creepy feel to her because she can kind of she has, like, I guess you can call them superpowers, where she has
She's
what's it called
telepathic, right?
when
Telepathic?
telepathy, for sure, yeah, exactly, and but those powers kind of like consume her energy in a way, and you can see it through her nose bleeding. Or wait, is it her nose? Yeah, I think it's her
Yeah, it's her
nose
nose.
bleeding, right?
Oh no, it's not
Yeah.
telepathy. It's telekinesis. I forgot. Sorry.
Telekinesis, right, right, right. Somebody's reading minds. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, there's this character 11, and she has this very creepy feel to it. Where when you're watching it, personally, when I was watching it, I was like, I had mixed feelings about her because on the one hand, she seems very kind, like she doesn't seem to want to hurt anyone or anything like that. But at the same time, she can kind of communicate with the other side, which is the side where the Demogorgon lies and where he has his nest or where he lives. And it's interesting because the other dimension is like a version of the real world, but just a creepy version of the real world kind of thing.
Yeah, much
So
much
it's an
scarier
interesting
version.
concept, and it's also a concept that has been touched before, obviously, in other other films and other novels. But I think they portray it very well here. What do you think?
Yeah, same. I mean, I don't want to spill too much, but I don't know. I enjoyed how well the whole show was put together, and I liked how it wasn't solely oriented around um finding Will. Like yeah, finding Will was the main goal of it. But I mean, there was also drama with Jonathan and Nancy and Steve,
Hmm.
and that just added on to it. And the
Bond,
really the
yeah.
really cool thing about this show is that there's all these groups. Like I wouldn't say groups, just like I don't know, yeah, groups of just like few people. Like you have the Will's friends who have their own group that are trying to find Will, and you have Jonathan who eventually teams up with Nancy, and they're trying to find Nancy's friend Barbara, and you have
Hmm.
Joyce who's working mostly with Hopper, and they're also trying to find Will. And the cool thing is that they like each group knows something that another doesn't, and they have to put together those pieces though to eventually find Will.
Right.
And you doing so badly, you're just saying, hey guys, just talk to each other, tell each other that you guys know, like you guys know what's going on
Yeah.
because the kids they don't know that Joyce and Hopper are onto something. They don't know that Jonathan and Nancy are onto something. No group knows what the other group's doing, and
Hmm.
you just so badly you just want them to team up and just all look together, which eventually happens, but it's just I don't know, you just anticipate it so much, and that's one thing I really like about the show. I'm definitely
Yeah.
gonna suggest that I'm gonna give into the October hype of last year, and we're gonna see that again this year, won't we? For season two.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's coming in Halloween. The first ad for it was shown in the Super Bowl. I think I was watching and they came up and everyone was super hyped. And I hadn't watched the show by then, so I was like, huh, it looks kind of interesting. So now that I watched it, I'm definitely hyped for that.
Yeah.
And yeah, who knows what's gonna happen?
When did you first see it?
Uh,
The entire show
pretty yeah, pretty recently.
recently.
Just like a month or two ago actually, and yeah, I loved it. I honestly want to watch it again sometime soon because yeah, it's really well put together. And again, as you were saying, like there's totally parts where like we want the characters to know what other characters know, but at the same time, these agent guys creep me out so much because we don't really know exactly what they're up to. Like we can kind of see some scenes of what they're doing,
Oh, the
but we
people
don't.
from the laboratory place.
Yeah, exactly those,
Yeah,
and
that's weird.
it it really gives you a real weird feeling when you see what they're doing because they're kind of just like experimenting with humans and like when you see what they do to 11 you're just like what the hell
Yeah,
that's
and
terrible.
knowing what's going on there, like you barely skim the surface at the end of the first season, and I feel like we're gonna
Mhm.
get to know a lot more about it by the next season, and hopefully the
I
season
hope
after
so.
that, if there is one. But
Mm.
we're just gonna have to see. So
Mm.
yeah, now on to the video game topic. Since we're gonna wrap this up soon, we're gonna for the last discussion. It's not gonna be just one game. We're gonna talk about the series rather, and the evolution of the Super Smash Brothers series, which
Yep.
has been a game that my family and I have played ever since as long as I can remember. And from the first one for the N64 all the way until the Wii U for Super Smash Bros. Wii U. So, or just tell me a little bit about how you found Super Smash Bros. What was the first Super Smash Bros. Game you had?
Mhm.
Yeah.
The first one I personally played was the one for the GameCube, Super Smash Bros. Melee,
Hmm.
and oh boy, like from the moment I got it, I played it so much all the time. It was super fun. Like, how can you not love that game? Like, first of all, like the single player is pretty fun by itself, where you get to do all the challenges, and then in the end, it's a very iconic end with the big glove hand they have
Oh,
to.
Master Hand.
the master hand that you have to beat up, and super fun. Like honestly, it's kind of interesting because it's a fairly simple game by itself, but at the same time, it has like a lot of strategy to it, and
Yeah, especially
and
among competitors.
exactly like to this day, it is still one of the most competitive video games out there. Like I think we could possibly say it's like of all time, it's the most uh, competitive game out there. Maybe StarCraft could be in there, but Super Smash Bros. Melee is still being played a lot competitively. There's
Yeah,
still tournaments. There's people that play it regularly, so it's pretty impressive how it's still going on.
yeah, same with
And
Super Smash Bros. Brawl and Super Smash Bros. Wii U as well.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And yeah, I think it's awesome that they're still going. I mean, like who's I think everyone that likes video games would be down for a game of Smash at least once in a while because it's super fun, honestly. And as I said, the first one I ever played was Melee, but I also played Brawl. Both are really really fun games. Um, just to play to have some fun times with your friends or whatnot. And recently, it's funny because the Nintendo 64 one obviously was the first one that came out, but I hadn't played it until recently. I got to play it with my friends, and it was really fun too. Honestly, I gotta say, had so much fun with that.
Who's
So
your
yeah, I mean,
who's been your main your primary fighter?
I gotta say, I love Yoshi.
Yoshi.
uh, I mean, usually I'll pick anyone, but my favorite's Yoshi. I'd say. What about you?
Who the my main has changed probably too many times ever since I started playing Super Smash. When I got the first one for N64, I loved playing as Captain Falcon. Then
Falcon
then I
Punch.
then I changed to Fox. No, then I changed to Ice Climbers. Then I changed to Fox for a really long
Nice.
time. Then it was Falco. Then I
Mm,
had like a brief span as Olimar and another brief span as Villager from Animal Crossing, another brief span as Pac-Man, and then finally I said I oh and then I and then um before this it was Marth for a little bit, then Lucina, and now I've decided to just stick with Falco. So
nice.
yeah, it's changed a lot. I mean, the good part is that like when I'm in the story mode for Brawl Subspace Emissary, is that when
Hmm.
they put me with like they make me play as different characters. It's not too hard for me because I played as so many ones over the years.
Yeah,
It's not too hard. But did you ever play the
that's true.
Subspace Emissary for Brawl?
Yeah, I think I did. I I loved honestly all those all the game modes and the story.
Mm-hmm.
It was just fun in general, and yeah, for me, I guess I was saying Yoshi, but also Kirby. I just think it's pretty fun. Like personally, I'm not like a very competitive Smash player. I just do it for fun. But yeah, I think they're just troll characters, honestly. Like when you see competitive Smash, I don't think you see them very often. I don't watch it a lot either, but I usually see like Fox, Falcon, Captain Falcon, I mean, and all those classic ones, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Would you say? you liked Melee better than Brawl or Brawl better than Melee?
Oh man, that's tough. But ooh, I'd say I'd say I like the story more for Melee, but I like playing Brawl more. I don't know. I feel like it might be the opposite for most people, but
You liked like the
maybe it's just
single player mode for Melee?
I did. I loved it. Maybe it's just because I played it so many times that
Yeah, but
just I just love it. And you know what? I'm really excited for if
a potential
and
fifth
there
one.
the potential fifth one on the
Switch,
no
Switch maybe.
on the Switch. Yeah,
Yeah, first you gotta
exactly.
play. First you gotta play the Wii U on the fourth one. That's
That is true.
it's
Is
gotta
it?
be on your to-do
What do you think
list.
about it?
My favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
Wow.
It's really good.
Was that like?
So many characters, so many
Yeah, new characters.
maps. Um, 8-player Smash. That's pretty cool.
That's
Um,
pretty cool.
there's not really much of a story mode, but like they're online. Like the online is much better. Just online fighting. Um,
Hmm.
there's just so much more in that game, and I just love it. Especially after all the DLC. After you got all the DLC, there's so much, and of course, I got all of it. So
Nice.
there's definitely a lot more content in Super Smash Bros. Wii U. So you have to play that. You have to, and
Yeah,
I
really
feel like
should.
once you do, you two will probably declare that as your new favorite. Maybe it'll be
So,
maybe it'll be Melee. A lot of people prefer Melee though because
yeah, a
it's
lot of
the
people do.
characters move faster, I believe, and they move a little too fast. And I think people like exploiting that because
I guess.
it wasn't deliberate of them to make the characters so fast and stuff. I think it was just
I guess that's why it's also very competitive. Like need like really good reactions and stuff. I'm
mm-hmm.
not too sure.
Yeah,
Perhaps that's
yeah. I think that's the reason too. I mean, nowadays a lot. You see a lot of melee competitions, and you also see a lot of Super Smash Bros. Wii U ones. There's not many for the first one anymore. It's very rare.
yeah.
And the in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, it doesn't have that much either. And there's more, of course,
Mhm.
than the N64 one, but I mean, it's not as popular as the melee competitions or the Wii U ones. But
Yeah, I have to agree.
yeah, I definitely
But
recommend just getting the Wii U version.
I really should. Yeah, I never got a Wii U, so
Uh,
I've I've not played any of those games. But maybe maybe I'll go with a friend that actually does have the Wii U, and hopefully they also have Smash, and we can try that out for sure. It
yeah,
sounds awesome.
yeah, we'll just get some shopping done in the near future, maybe. Well, yeah,
Perhaps.
yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I think that's all the time we have for today. So
Yep.
we're gonna close this out now. Any last words or any last comments, concerns?
Yeah. Thanks, everyone, for listening. I mean, we have a lot of fun doing this podcast, and I hope you enjoy listening to it. And as always, we appreciate the constructive comments. We appreciate the likes, the subscribes, uh,
Reviews?
all of that. Exactly. And just thanks again to everyone. Uh, have a nice day.
Yeah, thanks guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, maybe comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys next time with lot more, topics you'll like. And always remember that if there's something you guys want us to talk about that you really enjoy and that you think we've seen before, or if you want us to watch it first or play it first,
For
then
sure.
tell us, and we'll definitely consider giving our input on it. And
Yeah.
yeah, you're always available to comment that. any
Just
any
bring it on.
requests, and we're always open to that. So yeah, thanks guys.
Yeah.
And again, be sure to
See you next
like,
time. Have a good
comment,
one.
subscribe. Have a good one. We'll see you guys next time.
Arigato.